Oh, Body wants to say this out loud, so I will. The Harley-Davidson Ultra Limited, which topped out at $32,499 MSRP before Harley quietly killed it after 2024, was not discontinued because of declining interest. It was discontinued under competitive pressure from a Japanese bike that Harley riders are not supposed to respect. The 2025 Honda Goldwing Tour DCT starts at $29,700. It makes more power. It costs less. And the only honest reason most Harley loyalists have not made that switch yet is not mechanical. It is cultural. That tension is what this video is about. There is also a specific maintenance problem I will get to later, the kind that dealerships will not walk you through voluntarily, the kind that only becomes real after the check clears. Stay with me until section 3, because that is where the real ownership math lives. Over the next 15 minutes, you will get a straight breakdown of both machines. Engineering philosophy, long-haul ergonomics, the full cost of ownership picture including recall history, infotainment, and a final verdict based on rider profile. No brand deals, no press bikes. Let us get into it. Every touring motorcycle is built around a philosophical engine decision, and the Milwaukee 8114 represents Harley's answer to that question for the last several years of the Ultra Limited's production life. 1,868 cc, 93 horsepower, 122 lb-ft of torque arriving at 2,750 RPM. That low-end torque delivery is the V-twin personality in numbers. The engine thumps. It vibrates just enough to remind you it is alive. It communicates through the seat and handlebars in a way that no specification sheet can capture. If you have ridden one, you already know this. If you have not, you cannot get there through a screen. Honda went a completely different direction with the Goldwing's 1,833 cc flat 6, 125 horsepower, 125 lb-ft of torque. The horizontally opposed layout keeps the engine mass low in the chassis, which is why an 806-pound motorcycle can feel lighter than that number suggests once it is rolling. The engine does not vibrate, it does not thump. At speed, what you notice is the absence of sensation, which, depending on your identity as a rider, is either the highest expression of touring engineering or the most alienating thing a motorcycle can do. Now, the question Harley loyalists have been avoiding are the reflex defensive rider systems on the Ultra Limited, cornering ABS, lean-sensitive traction control, linked braking, genuinely competitive with Honda's electronics integration? The answer is that Harley has closed the gap. The current package is legitimate and credible. But Honda has been building the dual-clutch transmission into the same electronic architecture as their rider aids for years, so the ABS, throttle management, and transmission shift logic all speak the same language. That integration depth is not something you add later as a safety package. It is a fundamental platform decision, and it shows when conditions get difficult. The DCT itself is the most culturally loaded piece of this comparison. A 7-speed automatic on a motorcycle is not what most of the riders watching this grew up wanting. But after a 500-mile day, what that transmission actually returns to you is mental bandwidth. The bandwidth you would have spent shifting, which you can now spend on traffic, weather, your passenger, and the road itself. The next section is where that bandwidth matters most, and it involves someone most of you have taken on at least one long trip. A real touring day is not a test ride. It is a 600-mile push with a passenger, loaded bags, and whatever the weather decides after noon. The differences between these machines in that context are not marginal. They are the reason people switch brands after 2 decades. The Ultra Limited's Batwing fairing is one of the most recognizable shapes in American motorcycling. It is also, at sustained highway speed, an imperfect aerodynamic solution for taller riders. The turbulence zone around the helmet at 75+ miles per hour is real and well documented. Manageable for short days, fatiguing over longer ones. The Goldwing Tour's full coverage bodywork functions as a complete aerodynamic envelope rather than a deflection point, and the powered windscreen adjustment on the Tour model means you can tune it in motion without stopping. This is not a styling preference, it is a physics outcome. Both bikes offer heated seats and heated grips standard. That fight is a tie. Where the Goldwing separates itself is the pillion. The passenger position, seat width, backrest height, hip room, is among the best in the touring segment. Have you had the conversation that ends with, "I enjoyed it, but after 300 miles, I am done"? That conversation does not mean your passenger is wrong. It means the motorcycle is failing a use case it was sold to cover. What does that cost you over 5 years in trips cut short and early motel stops? Measure it against the $2,799 price difference between the Ultra Limited's last MSRP and what the Goldwing Tour DCT opens at today, and see how the math looks. Vibration is the last comfort variable that most comparison reviews underweight because it is invisible on a day ride and decisive on a week-long tour. The Milwaukee 8 is dramatically smoother than the twin cam it replaced. Harley earned that. But it is still a large displacement V-twin running at sustained highway revs, and the residual vibration accumulates in your hands and lower back over hours in a way that a flat 6 simply does not. The 6-cylinder events fire so rapidly they blend into something closer to turbine induction than reciprocation. Your hands at the end of a 700-mile day tell a different story on the two bikes. And now, the maintenance story that the dealership left out. Here is the open loop from the hook. The Honda Goldwing Tour comes backed by a 3-year unlimited mileage transferable warranty, not capped by miles, transferable to a second owner, which means it is a resale asset built into the purchase price. When Honda backs a $29,700 touring machine with that coverage, they are making a public statement about engine confidence. Honda does not extend unlimited mileage warranties on platforms they are unsure about. Harley offers a 24-month unlimited mileage warranty, 1 year shorter. The gap sounds small until you understand that electrical, fuel delivery, and powertrain seal issues, the problems that cost real money, typically surface in year 2 to year 3 of ownership, not year 1. What happens at month 25 is your expense. In the touring segment, that expense starts at $1,500 and climbs quickly. Now, the recall record. In 2024, Harley recalled 41,637 touring motorcycles, including Ultra Limited models, because the voltage regulator output wire could chafe against the front of the crankcase. Insulation wears through. Exposed wire against engine cases creates a short. A short can cause complete loss of electrical power and drive power at highway speed. Harley reported 9 field incidents before the recall was issued. No reported crashes. Fortunate. But a loss of drive event on a $32,000 motorcycle is not a statistical abstraction. It is a real scenario that reached regulatory threshold. More recently, Harley recalled approximately 88,000 motorcycles across their 2024 through 2026 touring lineup, Road Glide, Street Glide Ultra, and related models with the Milwaukee 8 117 for a blocked breather port in the airbox baseplate. A thin plastic membrane can cover the port, building crankcase pressure. Remove the dipstick under those conditions, and you get an oil ejection from the fill spout. Fire risk, injury risk. Harley began investigating in early 2025. Nearly 90,000 units on a single manufacturing defect is not noise. The Goldwing is not exempt. In late 2024, Honda recalled 18,196 Goldwing GL 1800 motorcycles built between 2018 and 2021. The primary drive gear bolt on the crankshaft can fracture, causing the pulse rotor to detach and the ignition to fail, potential engine stall and rear wheel lockup. Honda documented 51 warranty claims and 1 rider injury before acting, which is a slow response curve for a severity level that includes rear wheel lockup. There was also a separate recall on 2020 through 2022 manual transmission models for an ignition timing software defect causing stalls. Both recalls are real. Neither is nothing. But the scale, 88,000 Harleys versus 18,196 Goldwings, is a data point you should weigh with your eyes open. The maintenance cost picture is this. The Goldwing's Flat 6 has long service intervals, and the platform carries a reputation for mechanical longevity that is not marketing. The Milwaukee 8 is a capable engine, but dealer service costs run higher in the touring segment, and the intervals on certain service categories compound over a 100,000-mile ownership horizon. The one real advantage Harley holds here is roadside repairability. If a Goldwing fails in a small town in Montana, the pool of mechanics comfortable with a horizontally opposed 6 is genuinely smaller than the universe of shops that can work on a Milwaukee 8. Harley's service network is a real asset. It belongs in your calculation. The infotainment gap between these bikes is real and it runs in one direction. Harley's Boom Box GTS on the Ultra Limited, a 6.5-inch touchscreen, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, 4-speaker audio, is a competent system. The screen reads in most light conditions. The navigation functions. The audio is adequate below 70 miles per hour, where wind management and speaker placement start working against the Batwing fairing's aerodynamics. Riders who have used current automotive GPS universally describe the routing as functional rather than seamless. For 2025, Honda upgraded the Goldwing Tour with wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, no cable. On a loaded touring bike, that is not a convenience upgrade. It is a daily friction point eliminated. The 7-inch TFT display sits closer to the rider's natural eye line within the full coverage fairing. Better glanceability without head movement. The Tour model's audio system adds a trunk subwoofer that changes the listening experience at speed in ways that 4-speaker setups without low-frequency reinforcement cannot match. Which system fails first in the rain? Neither manufacturer will give you a straight answer, so the real-world data matters. The Goldwing's infotainment connectors and seals are built to automotive specifications. Honda builds cars, and those standards carry over. The Boom Box GTS has a documented history in earlier generations of connectivity and screen degradation after prolonged water exposure. The current GTS has improved, but the reputation exists because the incidents existed. And the tech gap widens at the system integration level. On the Goldwing DCT, the ABS, throttle-by-wire, and traction control operate as unified inputs to a single platform that includes transmission shift logic. Hard throttle into hard braking on a wet surface produces a more composed response than any platform that layers safety electronics onto a manual drivetrain. Harley has not yet built a touring motorcycle around an automatic transmission. The consequence is that their electronics package, however capable it has become, is operating on a chassis architecture designed before DCT integration was on their roadmap. One more data point before the verdict. The Goldwing Tour Airbag DCT is available at $34,725 MSRP. Honda has offered a motorcycle airbag since 2006, nearly 2 decades. Harley has not brought this technology to any production touring model. You can decide that matters or does not matter, but make that decision deliberately. Here is the verdict, organized by rider profile. No sentiment, just the data. Solo rider. Under 300 miles per day. Primarily 2-lane roads. Strong preference for V-twin character and the community infrastructure around it. Good independent Harley shop access. The Ultra Limited successor, the 2025 Street Glide Ultra, with the Milwaukee 8 117 at $30,749 MSRP, covers your needs. The identity of the machine, the dealer network, the cultural weight it carries, those are real assets the Goldwing cannot replicate, and for a rider with that profile, they are worth paying for. 2-up rider, 400 to 600 miles per day. Passenger comfort is a non-negotiable. You want a warranty that covers the years when problems actually surface. You are willing to evaluate machines by what they do, rather than what they mean. The Goldwing Tour DCT at $29,700 is the more defensible purchase, not culturally, technically and financially. The Ultra Limited was discontinued because Harley made a strategic decision to consolidate, not because demand collapsed. But what that consolidation signals about where Harley sees its future in the premium touring segment is a conversation that deserves more than a press release. The Goldwing has been applying competitive pressure to this space for 50 years, and that pressure has not softened. Whether Harley's next-generation touring platform includes anything close to DCT integration, and whether it arrives before a meaningful percentage of their core touring buyers quietly makes this comparison and draws their own conclusions, is the question this video could only scratch the surface of. So here is the one I want to leave in your comments. If you had to do 100,000 miles on a single touring bike, two up half the time, whatever the weather, the full distance, which one is in your garage? Not what you think you should say, what you actually choose. Because that answer, across enough serious touring riders, tells you where this market is going before any earnings call does.